And it can be a real blemish when that happens.
Oh, absolutely.
And it can have repercussions down the road. I mean, it can change reputations. And it's very clear that id wanted someone who was going to be passionate about doing it. I think that it's great that they picked me, and I want to see what comes down the road with them. In John Carmack's keynote, he mentioned that they want to expand the third team, which is the Quake Live team. So I don't know where it's going to go, but that's cool.
It absolutely is, and we're going to be seeing a lot more from Quake Live, hopefully a lot more from you. And what you were saying about people caring about this and needing some passionate people, I think we could say this about the Quake community as a whole. There's a lot of people who care about this, a lot. And, this event wouldn't happen if nobody cared. And so this has been a great event, great experience. And I personally can't wait to get home and get on my Linux box and try out your work.
Yeah, I think that it's a little too easy at some companies to just look at the statistics.
Yeah.
And they see, Linux and Mac aren't played much for this other game some other studio released, and they actually released some statistics on it, which is pretty rare all by itself. And, you don't know until you try it, especially with something experimental like Quake Live. There are no answers.
Absolutely. And would you say that's a little bit of a vicious circle where, they look at the statistics and then they don't release a game so nobody plays it, and then you get those same statistics?
In many cases, the statistics have been hidden by companies that don't want to hurt these platforms.
Right.
I won't say anything more on whether they're good or bad. Just, they don't really want to reveal the statistics because if they get in the hands of a businessman, it might not look good to them. But like I said, it's more a matter of unlocking a potential audience. If you can expand your audience even by a small portion, then, you're still going to get more money out of it.
And I think the greatest effect, and I think id has noticed this especially, you get a following. You get, this company does games for us. And if you want to use a collective us for Linux users, but this company cares. So you really start to engender that kind of community and that kind of following. So you see a lot more of that.
Yeah, I hope that id Software continues to pursue that approach. I think it's worked well for them in the past, especially with the open source releases. It's not strictly necessary from a business perspective for them to do anything for these platforms. I mean, it's very easy to just make a Windows game, go DirectX all the way, maybe have a console port, and say, wow, look at our sales. But that's not really what it comes down to. And I think it kind of appreciates that. If they can get the talent to do it, they'll do it because it gets them more loyalty in a way.
Yeah.
And in terms of growing the audience for profit, that's not entirely the point. It's a lot of goodwill more than anything.
Absolutely.
And, when it comes down to goodwill from a community, id Software has been very good at trying to acquire that goodwill. And there are a lot of companies that have just kind of missed the boat on that. I think they're not approaching it the right way.
Right. Well, it's good evidence that they've approached you. And I'm sure you're very thankful for that as well. It's going to be nice to have that in the pocket. And I think a lot of people out there are going to be appreciating that, myself included. But with that, I'd like to thank you. And it's always good to see you. Always great to talk to you. And, man, I'm excited.
I really appreciate the Quake Live coverage that I've been seeing.
Yeah, we've been having a blast.
There's some good fragging, and it's worth covering. And I've been very impressed with that aspect of Quake Live. I mean, ports or not, there's some good fragging there. I haven't seen that in a lot of games these days.
Oh, absolutely.
There's something lost.
There is.
Multiplayer has become kind of like a secondary wart on the back of the game. And the games are either multiplayer only or single player only, and when they do the multiplayer only, it can all too easily feel kind of shallow. Like the team wasn't into it enough to give it that character that it needs.
Right.
Quake Live has a bit of a character to it.
It does. Always has. It's been Carmack's baby. But, with that being said, I think if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go see if I can get some frags going myself. Maybe I'll see you on the server, all right?
Enjoy.
Great.
I'll
thank you.
Be there.
Well, this has been Quake Live TV. Jahar with Lord Havok. And if it's not, I don't know if the ports are available on the general web yet, but they will be after this weekend, I assure you. And you're going to see them.
I can't assure you that.
Okay, well, soon.
We're not
very
making
soon.
any promises.
All right.
When it's ready.
When it's ready. Amen to that.
The good old when it's
Monday?
done.
Okay, when it's done. That's the best we can always ask for.
Done.
Yep. Well, you guys take care, and we're going to enjoy the rest of the event. You'll be seeing a lot more streaming from us, where you're going to be seeing a lot of the younger Gamers Cup, which has been amazing. Perhaps some Doom 3, some Warcell later on. We'll see how that goes. But you'll be seeing a lot from us today. And it's Jahar signing off.